much should the client say? And perhaps more, when? As an aside, the person who gets the reading has had various titles over time. In earlier decades, they were called the sitter because they usually sat down across from the reader. Some modern readers have revived that term. A current expression is seeker, which might suggest the reader is a guru. And then there is the term often used in books, querent. Teresa prefers client. Her choice comes from the awareness that she is a dedicated professional, that this is not a hobby or even a spiritual mission, but a business that she operates on the highest ethical level. This attitude and life experience comes through very strongly in the part of the book dedicated to developing your own practice as a tarot reader. So, what does the client say in a reading? Teresa begins by asking them what they want to know. She pays serious attention to what they say, sometimes suggesting a way to reframe the question. This is a common practice among readers, particularly when the issue concerns relationships, in particular the possibility of infidelity, in other words, cheating. If the client says, "I want to know if my boyfriend is cheating on me," the reader might suggest changing that to, "What do you need to know about your relationship?" Or maybe, "How do honesty and fidelity figure in this relationship?" But once the questions are set and the cards laid out, Teresa prefers that the client not say anything until the end. This is because she reads intuitively, a very important word in this book, and intuition for Teresa depends on a kind of flow of information, insights, and impressions. Does she suggest that we all do the same? I think she wants us to try out what she models for us, though not so precisely. She gives us ways to develop our own intuitive capabilities. And maybe she suspects many of us might end up following much of her approach. But she is modeling something for us, something really quite important that is worth considering, even if it goes against a reader's long-standing practice or a beginner's idea of what they think they want to learn. And yet, how we end up using what she gives us is up to us. I'm sure that the last thing Teresa would want is to have legions of read bots taking over the tarot world. Instead, she shares her own experience, her skills and practical steps, but most of all her dedication, her love of tarot and everything about it. She teaches us about service, and maybe especially about joy. Joy and simply fun is almost a guiding principle in this book. Even when Teresa is describing very serious matters, such as meditation or yoga as aids to releasing our intuitive abilities, she makes it clear we will have a great time doing these things. Many years ago, a spiritual teacher of mine named Iona Saligen told our class, "Nothing is learned except through joy." A statement and principle I have never forgotten. Teresa is a teacher, a businesswoman, and a community leader. But she is always first and foremost a reader, and the fact that she loves this life breathes throughout this book. The book is roughly in two parts. The first concerns learning about the cards. Experienced readers may be tempted to skip this part, but I urge you to look carefully at Teresa's perspective and card meanings. They derive, after all, from dedication and years of practical experience. We can say something similar with her explanations of classic spreads, found at the end of the book, in particular the Celtic cross. Many readers, maybe most, have used this spread, partly because it's so famous, and partly because it really covers so many aspects of the client's, sitter's, querent's questions. But even if you have your own approach to the Celtic cross, take a look at what Teresa says about it. The second half of the book helps us develop that ability, skill, talent Teresa calls intuition. There is endless debate in tarot circles as to the difference between psychic and intuitive knowledge. Mary K. Greer says that intuition brings together available information at an unconscious level to come up with something surprising, while she reserves psychic for precise details that come to you from no clear source. Teresa tells the story of a reading where the name Barry